So Jermall Charlo, the way Bully Spence, Sean Porter, all those cocksuckers, right? They gotta go through the command center if any other offer comes out from a different agency, a different company that wanna, take their talent, bring them on their platform, and give them the biggest payday they ever seen before. So when they talk about how they their own bosses, I highly doubt that. And Jermall Charlo exposed the whole PBC by having to go to the command center, call the command center, send an email to the command center so they can look at it, vet it, understand it, reject it. People, I told you, man, these dudes are not their own bosses, and everybody that like the PBC, all the fans, all the fangirls that rock with that crowd, right? Look, there's nothing wrong with liking the fighter, but they're not liking the fighter, right? They're liking the network, right? They're liking the idea of a black enterprise doing great things for young up-and-coming black men that want to box to make a future for themselves and their families. That's the idea, right? But the idea is flawed because that's not actually what's going on. You understand me? So we're talking about this. We're looking at this from a different standpoint, right? Because so many sides, so many ways you can explain it and argue it. But we're not on the same wavelength if I don't say what I just said. We're talking about fans who like the idea, right? And they may like the fighter. But when we dig deep, really deep, you know how I be getting in my shorty, I be going deep. I be going deep. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. Do you feel me? These dudes are not their own bosses. Look, and nothing wrong with not wanting to be or not being your own boss, but don't run around saying you were your own boss. You feel what I'm saying? Don't go to the hood and then, with a suit on and a tie on talking about you are the manager of this corporation or you're the manager of this store when you're actually a waiter, when you're actually a clerical worker, when you actually just push papers and put on a good suit to look good for the company. You faking, homeboy. You see what I'm saying? The whole point is this, though, right? Eddie Hearn has been exposing since he stepped foot on U.S. soil. And that's the truth. And that's what I've been telling you, man. You guys call him a moving salesman. I say he's the truth running game on those cocksuckers because at the end of the day, he can offer these dudes 10 million, 7 million. He knows, right? And I know that he knows that they're not going to accept it because it will have to take their product, which is Jermall Charlo, the weight Bully Spence, to another person's network to fight to get that amount, that 7-10 million. Now Eddie Hearn flips it and says, look, I'll give you my guy, he can fight on Fox, he can fight on PBC, Showtime, whatever. But you have to match the offer that I gave my guy, that I gave your guy, which is, let's say, 7 million. See, PBC, Al Heyman is not going to pay that 7 million. They're not going to get in their pockets and dig deep to give a fighter that don't deserve that kind of money. You see what I'm saying? Because Al Heyman understands that on his island, he got guys that got good names and are good fighters. Yes, the way Bully Spence and the rest of them, they're good fighters. But what he know is on his island, he have fighters that he can pay 1.5, the highest 3 million. You see what I'm saying? And he knows they're going to accept that, eat that, and they're going to rock with that, and they're going to understand that this is what it is, and he ain't going to get no pushback. All they're going to do is go to the command center if they have any grievances. You see what I'm saying? So that's what Al Heyman has done to the game. Point blank, period. And Eddie Hearn disrupted that, right? Because he gave, or the zone gave, Deontay Sloppy opportunity to understand that he can get 120 million for 3 fights. And he was interested. You see me? But when he got in the building, they left the building, Shelly Finkel, Al Heyman say, hold on, man. Damn. Now we got to pay this dude extra to fight. You understand me? Because we was paying him $3 to $4 million. Now we got to give him, a few more because he's been exposed to what's really going on with the market actually demands from him versus, you understand me, certain fighters leading up to your boy Anthony Joshua. Because at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is the guy. Right? Without Anthony Joshua, there's no Sloppy Wilder. You understand me? If there's no Sloppy Wilder, there's always going to be an Anthony Joshua. You got to remember that. So when your boy Sloppy Wilder says Anthony Joshua is irrelevant, it's retarded. It's crazy. They're struggling to sell tickets in the States against, look, we got the heavyweight of the world struggling to sell tickets. Anthony Joshua stepped foot. The tickets are sold, point blank, period. However you thought the tickets were sold, Eddie Hearn bought all the tickets. Okay, well, Eddie Hearn bought all the goddamn tickets then. But they sold, point blank, period. You feel what I'm saying? They struggling over there. You see what I'm talking about? But at the end of the day, man, I want to call the command center. I got some things I want to ask them about how their contracts are structured. Does Al Heyman dictate everything they do? You understand what I'm saying? Every time they get in the ring, I got to thank Al Heyman next to God. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, people, they have been exposed. They are not their own bosses. And the people who follow them are not their own bosses. So all you YouTubers that sneak on my page and, leave hate comments and love comments, I got all respect for all comments. But when you disagree with my point of view, we can have a conversation. I'm not going to kick you up the channel or delete your post. I don't do that. I like the back and forth. Intellectual conversations is something that we can have. Despite what you may think about my rough, demeanor or my speech when I talk this boxing. But at the end of the day, I have no problem sitting down with you, bro. But I'm going to tell you one thing about you cocksuckers, man. You're not your own boss. You like to have a daddy that's not even related to you holding your hand, crossing you around the street. Because if you remember all the channels, will always say, well, Al Heyman going to get him out of trouble. Al Heyman going to pay for this. Al Heyman going to pay for the courts. Al Heyman going to help Manny Pacquiao pay his taxes because y'all like daddies, bro. Y'all don't want to do anything on your own, nor do y'all want to hold yourself to responsibilities as a man putting 10 toes to the ground. So you look at these cocksuckers like the way Bully Spence, right? And these type of fighters on PVC, and you say, okay, they got a daddy, just like I got a daddy. And I'm talking about the daddy that takes care of you while you do all the buffoonery. You understand me? You want in the streets and can't be held accountable for what you do. So every time your boy Tank Davis get in trouble, we all say, he young. Broner was getting in trouble. He young. Come on, man. Y'all know what's really good out here, man. Point blank, period. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at y'all. I understand the game of YouTube. I understand the game of, this cat and mouse game that y'all play. But I play it very well as well. You see what I'm saying? Just like I said, I understand what Eddie Hearn is doing. Eddie Hearn don't want to pay, Tank Davis $7 million to fight Farmer. Farmer don't deserve $7 million. He hasn't done enough. You understand me? He don't know enough. You see what I'm saying? He don't demand enough. But he knows that they won't pay it. So if he says 7, he's putting the money up high, right? So now that if you accept the fight, if you don't accept the fight, it looks like your fighter's ducking, right? If you accept the fight, you got to pay my guy or your guy, because your guy understands now that he can get $7 million versus $2 million, right? He's put you in your back against the wall now, right? You see what Eddie Hearn is doing? Putting your back against the wall. Now, let's say you accept the offer, call at Eddie Hearn bluff. He's going to get a great percentage out of that $7 million that you're going to pay Farmer. Point blank, period. So he's a genius, man. He's a marketing genius. That's why I rock with him, man. I'm not saying that everything that Eddie Hearn do is right or wrong, right? But I understand it. Just know I understand him. Don't just think that I'm riding with him, not knowing his game. I understand his game, but I know one thing for sure. He wants the big fights. He doesn't have allegiance to any fighter other than Anthony Joshua, maybe Dillian White. Those are his countrymen. You got to understand. You got to respect that. Just like Eddie Hearn said, look, man, I believe that Deontay Sloppy going to beat Tyson Fury, but I'm rooting for my countrymen. You know what I mean? I'm rooting for Tyson Fury. He's my countryman. This is what he said out of his mouth. Now, me, he ain't hold back. He keeping it funky. You think what I'm talking about? But see, that's good. That's great. But he doesn't typically hold any of the fighters to one standard, over another fighter, because he's trying to make money for himself and the company that employs him to come out and give us the fights that we want to see. So we got to respect him all around the board instead of looking at a guy that's a mystery man that we don't ever see, we can't ever talk to, we can't never ask questions. And that's how Al Heyman got it. And he needs it, because if he allows you to ask him questions, right, then it can be split, spliced, and looked at. And so many, you can take a person's conversational answers and you give your own. You can have 5 people around. You can give your own interpretation of what that man said out of that statement. You know that. Everybody has interpretation on what someone says. That's what YouTube is about. If Anthony Joshua knocks out whoever, 80 videos are coming out. Anthony Joshua knocked him out with the hook. Another YouTube channel going to say he knocked him out with the right. Another YouTube channel going to say he hit him with a body shot, right? There's so many interpretations of what we saw happen that night at the fights. You see what I'm saying? But you rock with your boy CBT, man. Rock with your boy. Got a bunch of new subscribers, man. Say, yo, CBT, man, I like what you're doing. You kind of crazy, you kind of wild, but you kind of funny. I rock with you, man. You a lying mother ucker, but I still see your point of view, and you moving and shaking. I always told you like this, man. I keep it funky all around the board, man. I do what I do, and I'm going to continue doing what I do. You dig what I'm talking about? And if you rock with me, you don't. But I'm not hiding who I am and what I'm doing. None of that. Did you see that? That's the difference between me and those other channels. Now, I always say, we got to watch all the YouTube channels. Every last one of them. 78, Black Fight Cocksucker, Barbershop Cocksucker, TJ Goodfella, good YouTube channel. Disagree with a lot of what he do, but I'm not going to call him a cocksucker because I like his channel. But at the end of the day, Hatman Strikes Back, Sporting Icon, go to these channels, bro. And I watch some of these dudes. So I would never tell you not to go to another channel. It's all about my point of view, and I try to give you the facts. And your job is to give me your point of view. And if we disagree, we come to a conversation. That's what we conversate. And we get to talk about this boxing that we love. But you rocking with your boy CBT, man. The PBC has been exposed. Holla at me. Peace.